I found this trolling motor in the storage shed. So last time I was at Walmart, I went ahead and picked up a little marine battery, and we just tried it out, and sure enough, it works. And we have 4-wheel drive. So I'm gonna hook that up to one of the John boats. And while I was at Walmart, just to help me float, I'm gonna put some more totes on my floating dock just to make sure it can hold everybody and still float. But I don't want to drag it out of the water, so I am going to put on a life jacket and jump in the water with a cordless drill and try to keep that above the water while I screw in the lids, and then I'll just pop on the bottom. So that's our next project, and it's hot out today, so it'll be hot in the sun, but if I jump in the water, that'll cool me down. But that's what I gotta go get my tools ready, some screws and all the supplies into the boat. So I guess I'm gonna work on that now. I was getting the drill and screws for the floating dock project, and then I got distracted because I remembered I went into town after working on the tractor, filled up my gas cans while I was in town. So I'm going to add fuel stabilizer. I had a bunch of gas cans from right after the pandemic, so I've been going through gas back from 2021 that didn't have stabilizer in it. So as I empty a can and I fill it up, I just go ahead and add some fuel stabilizer in it. It takes 2 ounces for 2.5 gallons, and these are 5-gallon gas cans. So I just squeeze up. I don't know if you can see the labels on there, but I squeeze up 1 ounce, pour it in, squeeze up another ounce and pour it in, and then that tank is good to go. Up here, this tank I already went through with the old smaller generator, the red one, and that has fuel stabilizer in it. So that one's good to go. These two are diesel for my tractor. I don't think diesel needs fuel stabilizer. And this one, I think, yeah, that one's almost gone, so I'll probably, that's old fuel in that one too, but this top is not the best. It doesn't seal very well. The gasket's going on that, so I may get a new top for that one. And that's my hydraulic fluid for the tractor. And I had to get a hydraulic fluid funnel. I've got funnels for gas, funnels for oil, but I didn't have anything for tractor hydraulic fluid, so that I just keep here to keep dry. And then these 50-to-1 mixed with oil and gas, these are for my chainsaw and my weed eater. Actually, I have my weed eater hidden in here to keep it out of the rain. So I'm going to continue to work on the floating dock. I got to do this gas stabilizer first. Alright, I've been editing some tractor backhoe videos, waiting for it to cool down a little bit, because it's really hot out today. We're in a heat advisory until Thursday with no rain in the forecast. And as I pan around the lake, when I get down here, you'll be able to see it's pretty low. That's my fishing rod holder there that used to be right next to the water line, and the water line I think normally is right about there. My water filter, in order to pump water up to my tank, is above water right now. Well, halfway above water. So we need some rain here, but I got the supplies loaded. I got the battery in. I haven't hooked it up yet. I got the trolling motor, electric trolling motor, attached to the transom. I know what a transom is because back in the Navy, I had a little boat, and it had a cracked engine block, and it flooded, and it was left me stranded way too many times. Got the tote in here. We got our supplies here. I'm bringing 2 life jackets just so that I'm higher out of the water working with power tools under a dock. I want to be as high out of the water as I can. And since I'm working with power tools in the water, I decided to bring the drill and some lock wire. And while I'm there, I'm going to put a little hole in all the totes and lids so that if the tote does come off, it doesn't sink to the bottom of the lake. And Duke is hiding in the shade, but he's not going to come with us because it's going to be really hot out there in the sun, so he'll probably follow along shore over here and probably take a dip in the water and then watch from shore. So yep, we're gonna put this in the water and see how it goes. Alright, I made it out about 5 feet and realized I forgot to put the plug in. So now I pedaled back real quick, pulled it on shore. Now I gotta let the water drain out, put the plug in, and we'll retry this again. Alright, quick update on where we're at. I put the boat in the water without the drain plug. So I rode to shore real quick and jumped out. Put in the plug and jumped right back in, but I forgot my oar. But the motor I tested ahead of time and it did work. So we are at the floating dock. The umbrella's up because it's hot out. Got my bag of tools there, the short screws if I need them. Some lids here. I already attached one underneath, and it is not easy. Took some water in my nose. I have double life jackets on. Double diaper up. So I'm super buoyant under there. My head hits the bottom of the platform. So I have plenty of buoyancy, but trying to keep that drill, I have a couple inches to spare between the water. And I've dropped 2 screws already into the lake. So I'm going to try to put this camera under the dock. I didn't bring the waterproof box for it, so it's pretty dangerous. But we'll try that, and then hopefully you can see from underneath the dock how I'm putting these up. The first one, I was able to find 2 2x4s and screw the lid to that, so there's 4 screws in it, and I'm calling that good enough. So the next one fits right next to it. I know it will have 2x4s. So that's the one I'm going to install next. That should be the easier one. The first one was pretty hard and a learning experience. But this wood ladder that I have, the stairs are slippery because there's algae on it. There's algae on the tubs. And then one thing that I didn't expect, you can't really see it, but there's water on top of the lids of some of the totes, because whichever way the dock is floating, the tote lids are catching water. So hopefully with these extra barrels I'm adding, it won't matter that much. But I'm going to try to bring this down below and keep it dry, and then put it on top of a tote that's already hung down there, and see if we can record video of the next lid that we hang. Alright, I'm holding this above water. This is the one that I just screwed up. Not screwed up like bad, but screwed up good. So I got one here. I'll probably only be able to get 6 in here. Put another one on these 2x4s and one on those 2x4s over here. It's just wide enough that I can get 2 side by side. So this next one is gonna go right here. And we'll see if I can find a spot for this camera. Okay. Please don't fall. Okay, still recording. I'm trying to put it up in this little gap, and I don't want it to hit the record button to stop the recording. Okay. And okay. As you can see, with no hands, my head hits the top of this because it is pretty buoyant. And you're only getting one of these lids because I don't want to drop that camera in the bottom of the lake. First, you prep your supplies, you put them on the side edge of the platform. I don't have pockets, so I'm going to hold the screws in my mouth. Actually, now that I got this other platform up, nope, I won't be able to reach those. Alright. Gonna hold them in my mouth. Always carry an extra. Alright. I got 4 screws in there and didn't even drop one. I'm getting better at this. There you go. And there's just a couple inches to play with the drill and not get it power tools wet. Only 4 more to go. I'm not taking the camera down for the rest, though. That's the middle of the floating dock. This is the ladder. It goes down 4 feet, so I can touch the bottom rung pretty easy. My boat is tied off on this cleat. The cleat on the other side is not really a cleat, it's a towel hanger, and it doesn't work that well, so I need to... This was the last cleat that Home Depot had, so I gotta order some more. Alright, this is going off. I'm gonna do the other 4. Alright. We almost have 5 of the 6 in. We're going to go through an underwater tote maze here. This one I just need to pop in the black tote. I'm not sure it's going to fit because this was a very tight squeeze. I had to squeeze the lid in order to get this lid to fit in. But as we come in here, this tote to my right is new. This one in front of me is new. There should be one more right here, but I didn't make everything square because these 2 are new. This one's new, but there should be enough room right here for one, but it's not quite wide enough. I didn't make things square. So I guess this will just be a good hiding spot right underneath here. And you have an access. That's my tow rope right here, or not tow rope, but anchor rope. But yeah, we're almost done. All we gotta do is slide this other big black tote around the corner over here into that spot where the lid is. And then we're gonna call that a day. Here's my boat. I've just been reaching over the side and pulling them off the boat. Umbrella's still up, not doing much because the sun's low, so. Where is Duke? He was, usually we go on that side of the lake to the dam, right over there, where there's the spillway. And he did go that way, but he was too far from the boat. So he ran all the way along the shore over here. And then he was sitting in the water and then under a tree on that side. But has since moved because the sun was shining over there. He's over there somewhere. Or maybe he went back up to camp. Who knows? I'm sure once I start up the boat and start heading back, he will have his eyes on me and probably beat me home. Alright, that's it for upgrades on the floating platform. We'll see you next time. Alright, we're unmoored from the floating dock. I accidentally left the umbrella up, but it's not supposed to storm until Thursday, so I did not get around to drilling the holes and putting lock wire in for the totes, so I'll probably come out tomorrow and do that. But for now, we'll just get a little tour of the lake. I got this trolling motor here, steer it back and forth. I found out the hard way. I kept going in reverse. I was like, I guess the trolling motor only works in reverse. The numbers on the forward are just wore off, but now we're going forward. Let's crank this this way. Here's one corner. Try to stay out of the weeds. I got caught in a whole bunch of weeds on the way in or the way out. Alright, over here is the spillway. This is where I've come several times for the hydro generator. My power cable goes from, can't see the American flag, that's the 10-inch overspill, but it's not even touching that pipe right now because it's evaporating faster. So now we're just going back along the shore. This is usually the way I come with the kayak or this John boat with the paddle. Today's the first day that I've taken it out with this trolling motor. It makes things a little easier. One day we came out and it was pretty windy. Took a lot of paddling to get all the way across the lake. And then after the hour or two of work, the wind had shifted directions and it took a lot of paddling to get back. Oh, there's a higher gear. We're creating a wake. Oh, this is gonna make life so much easier. I found Duke. He was at camp. Duke! There's Duke. There's the paddle boat. This is where I dock, right there. We're gonna go around these weeds, hopefully. I would go back in there, but there's too many weeds. So we'll do a quick flip. And that's about the lake. It looks so quick when you have a power motor, but if you're paddling it, it takes a little while. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get up on shore without bottoming out my motor and without the oar, so let's see if we can do that. There's camp. Alright, I'm going to stop the video here because I'm going to get caught in weeds and I might have to jump off. Alright, we made it back in one piece. Pulled the boat out of the water, pulled the plug so the water could drain out, and in case it rains, I'm just going to leave the motor attached and the battery in there for next time. These I guess I'll bring back to camp, and then my bag, I'll just fold it up so it doesn't get rain in it in case it does rain. What you doing, Duke? Duke's hiding in the